Something about being restrained. Something about like being put into various positions that you can't move or you're limited in movement. Kind of like gives you so much freedom. It feels like a hug, if I'm gonna be honest. It feels like a very tight hug, sometimes a painful, torturous hug. Something about like the deep compression about it, the connection that you're having with the other person tying you. Or like if I'm tying someone, yung nanggigigil ka na. And it's just you and them. It's like there's no one else but here, just the two of us in this space, and it's euphoria. And that for me is spiritual.
Hey guys, welcome to At the Backdoor. Today we are going to talk about BDSM, specifically just the B part. It stands for bondage. So if you would like to learn more about bondage, all the kinky stuff. By the way guys, if you're new here, my name's Yvanne Evangelista, your host, and today I'm joined by the very lovely Rai. Hi! So, first of all, why are you wearing a mask? Can you explain something, audience?
I'm mysterious and I'm sexy. But kidding aside, it's actually because I'm not just protecting my identity. A lot of people connected to me also hides their identity. So in order to protect them, I kind of have to hide my face as well.
You're like a superhero.
I'm a vigilante.
Alright, so going back. BDSM. So can you talk more about Shibari? Kasi I think madaming hindi alam kung ano ba yan.
So Shibari is a Japanese art of rope bondage. It originally came from like an ancient form of martial art in Japan, and then it evolved into a more erotic kind of art in their S&M culture, which is like their clubs, adult video films, stuff like that. And nowadays it's more of it can be personal depending on the person, like their intentions about it. But now it's like it's an art form. It's some sort of love language of its own. So yeah.
So why do you practice it personally?
I practice it because, to be honest, it's one of the things that really makes me feel alive. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel very connected, not just with like myself, but with the other people that I tie and like the community regarding like BDSM.
So can you take me back? Like, how did you get into this? How did you start?
I started, so when I was younger, I used to, in the internet, I used to read a lot of fan fictions. I consumed a lot of media that had like sadomasochistic themes into it. Notable like Nana to Kaoru, which is a manga about rope bondage. And then when I like turned legal, and then 2019 I got involved with the local community here in the Philippines. I got in because of a friend who introduced me to the community, and things were like history from there on.
So, I'm sure ang dami mong naririnig about BDSM or Shibari, like ang daming misconceptions. I'm sure I also have like personal misconceptions about it. So, ano yung mga usual things that people think?
Some of the misconceptions people have regarding Shibari is that it's only for sexual purposes. Like you only tie someone to like fuck them, but it's not always the case. And there's also this misconception that I have rope, I have a body, I tie it, that's good. It's not, no, there's a lot of like safety issues that comes with rope bondage. So you have to really know what you're doing before you apply those things that you learn about. But yeah, those are the two things that pretty much I think most common misconception about it.
So if it's not for sexual purposes, like what is it for?
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't be sexual with rope bondage. It can be. Shibari is actually um, intentionally was like built from the backs of sex workers as well. So you cannot take away the sexual part of it. But if you're someone like me that doesn't necessarily practice it for sexual purposes, I do it for the spiritual aspect of it, the connective aspect of it, and yeah, I can say the art form as well. Like it's pretty, it's nice to look at, but for me, it's like when I tie someone or even just myself, I really feel like I'm here, but also not. If that makes sense, it's like I am everywhere yet nowhere at the same time.
Everything, everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the headspace that you get into when I'm like getting tied or tying.
Can you talk more about your spiritual aspect? Like how does it become spiritual? So that's really interesting.
Um, so personally, this is just my take on it, on why it becomes spiritual. Something about being restrained, something about like being put into various positions that you can't move or you're limited in movement, kind of like gives you so much freedom. It feels like a hug, if I'm gonna be honest. It feels like a very tight hug, sometimes a painful, torturous hug, but something about like the deep compression about it, the connection that you're having with the other person tying you. Or like if I'm tying someone, so yung nanggigigil ka na, and it's just you and them. It's like there's no one else but here, just the two of us in this space, and it's euphoria. And that for me is spiritual.
Hey, I just want to hop on here and talk to you about this cool social media manager, Metricool. Are you a social media professional who is looking to have the best tools for their company? Or are you just a beginning influencer trying to break into the social media world? Well, we know a cool tool that can do all of these. This is Metricool. Metricool caters to all social media users with its simplicity and effectiveness. No need to scramble from app to app. Manage all of your social accounts in one place, be it behind a computer or on your smartphone. Metricool is a marketing tool for analyzing, managing, and growing your digital process. Its simple interface and unique tools help any kind of social media marketer achieve their social media goals. So what are you waiting for? Create winning strategies and improve with Metricool. Check out the Metricool link down below.
Of course, there's still a sexual aspect for Shibari, right?
Yes, some practitioners really do involve like rope bondage with like their sexual activities.
If I may ask, what are the kinkiest things that you've done or seen?
Like in my personal experience, I have been tied and then like it gets so intense. Like it's just like the connection, the passion between you and the person tying you, and then you eventually like you need some sort of like physical release from all that emotional intensity that you're feeling. So sometimes like with that partner, we do end up like having sex afterwards. And it's kind of hard to say like the kinkiest. I don't know if there's like a top one to it. But with rope bondage kasi, it's like some people purely just use rope and then they get aroused from it and then they have sex after or like during. Some people incorporate other types of play during rope bondage itself. So like you could have like impact play where you're like getting spanked or something. So some of them eventually like get turned on, then they have sex with while being tied up or after getting tied up. So
So how can beginners, how can beginners get into this? I'm asking for a friend.
Um, a lot of people uh, discover rope bondage, obviously, like through the internet. Like porn is a big factor of why people discover rope bondage. 50 Shades of Grey is actually, I know a lot of people in the kink community that their first introduction to BDSM and like rope bondage is 50 Shades of Grey. Um, if you're a beginner, the best way to start it out is really do your own research first. Um, so with the safety aspect of it, don't try risky things. Even if you're tempted to do like suspensions, like on the first try, please don't. It's really dangerous. So try to research first. Know your know the resources available to you locally, and part of the research is getting to know which people to get in touch with so they can somehow lead you to the right direction.
And also, part of the research is knowing yourself, your boundaries, right?
Yeah. Yes, so when you're starting out as either a rope bottom or a rope top or a rope bunny, uh, you have to know how to, your boundaries, your limits. You have to know what are the things, like there's the yes, no, maybes. Yes are like the things that I'm sure I want to do this. I'm sure I want to explore this with myself or with someone. Maybe it's like, I'm not so sure about trying this now, or I don't have like a trusted partner I can do this now, but I'm interested in trying out in the future. No is absolute things that, okay, even if like people entice me to do it, I'm sure that I don't want this. So also knowing about your boundaries. So one of the things that we talk about when people get tied for the first time is like, what are the areas of your body that you don't want to get touched? Or like, I don't want to get touched in my chest or my arms. So bondage can accommodate those requests because you're not tying parcels that don't have a say in getting tied. You're tying people, and rope bondage accommodates the person, not the other way around. So yeah, you have to learn how to advocate for yourself if you're just starting out like in the community. You have to know, you have to be honest with yourself that about like both the good things and the bad things that, for example, when you're playing with someone, you have to be honest about the good things about it, the session, or the bad things, so you can work on getting to know more about yourself. And eventually, you figure out along your journey about how you want, which direction do you want to go with rope bondage? Is it something that I strictly just want to do in the bedroom, like for sexual purposes? Is it something that I want to be able to do performances with Shibari in the future? Or is it something like I just want to make art out of it, or maybe fashion Shibari? Or there's a whole world about it. Eventually, yeah, you'll find your journey the more that you're honest with yourself. Yeah.
So, speaking of communities, what communities are you part of?
Oh, right now, the community that I'm most active in is the Shibari.ph community, or the SPH community. It's hosted like the person who runs those events. And there's also a website which is shibari.ph. So the person who runs that website is a good friend of mine, who is D Sapalo. He has been a rope practitioner for way longer than I have. And shibari.ph is the website, is a curated website for good resources of how to start with rope bondage here, especially in the Philippines. So you can go to some of their events where there's rope jams, where you can interact, meet with the community, meet fellow practitioners or enthusiasts that like rope. So there's weekly events for that. D also holds regular training sessions for people who really want to get serious about rope bondage.
I'll tell my friend.
Okay.
Do you also have an event coming up, right?
Oh yeah. I'm hosting a live sketching and open shoot event this February 12 yung live sketching, February 19 yung open shoot. So if you're interested in watching a live Shibari session and get a chance to like take photographs or draw, please join.
Autograph din.
More details about it can be found on my Instagram page and my website, which is therygin.com. So THE
All right. We'll link all of those details, also shibari.ph
Yes.
down below.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Grabe, ang dami kong natutunan. Every may bagong guest. Like, thank you so much.
Thank you rin for having me.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, kung gusto nyo rin sumali sa community.
Yeah,
alam ko,
we'll
alam ko
be
rin.
here to welcome you.
Yeah, so yeah, comment lang kayo down below, click all the links, and please like our video, subscribe na lang kayo sa channel natin, hit the notification bell down below, and yeah, all of our social medias will be linked down below also. Bye! We'll see you guys in the next video!
Ako na pinagpawisan eh.